Yo, welcome to the SBP, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. We are back this week. We got some guys you ain't seen in a minute. Up in the top right on my side there, we got my guy Juwan. What's good?
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. And also got my man Joel. We ain't seen Joel in a minute, but I do appreciate you deciding to come through, brother. I know it's been rough.
Yeah, it's been rough, but I'm here. I'll push through it.
Well, hey, the good thing about it is all of our teams suck. So, so we're not sitting here with a bunch of winners, right now. Where everybody's got problems, everybody's got issues. So there's no
Fair.
the homie Source is not in today. I mean, he wouldn't have that problem, but
Right.
he's out taking care of family business, enjoying life. It's the holidays and the whole nine, and he has a winning team. So, um, so we all gonna suffer together.
Appreciate
No,
it.
it's all good. It's all good. I was hoping to get ideas in here, but I know my man said he had something that was already pre-planned, so it's all good. So he can share in the misery. But I told him we got plenty of football left, so that I'll definitely have him back, man. But
For
other than
sure.
that, man, how you guys been, man? What you been up to?
Pretty good. Just trying to rely on other sports since football's failed me. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
watching soccer now. So
I've been watching soccer. That's helped a little bit, but um, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Football. I've been over it since week 2, honestly. So I've been dealing with it. Once, honestly, it was actually once Andrew Thomas went down, I was like, all right, well, the season's done, and that was I think week 4 or 5, whatever it was. So yeah, it's been pretty rough.
Man, look, I've been getting the double shot because not only does my Cowboys stink, but my college team, my Florida State Seminoles are just unbelievably bad. So
mm,
you know, so it's rough. And how do you go from going undefeated one year and then the next year here we are and you won but 2 games. So
so,
I don't
it's
know how
real.
that works.
It's real out
Crazy.
here in the streets. Don, what's up, brother? No doubt, man. Good to have you in. No doubt. Your Niners play today. But yeah, it's real out here, man. It's real, but it is what it is. And of course, we have our Knicks. We all are Knicks fans, so
What a
um,
roller coaster ride.
roller coaster ride. Kind of. I'm not surprised though. I was telling somebody before the season started. I said I would not be surprised if we're getting into maybe 25, maybe even 30 games before really see what this team about because even in our wins, I'm not even gonna talk about the losses, but even in a lot of our wins, you could still see the work that needs to be done.
yeah.
The players still figuring each other out, the cohesiveness. Am I gonna let them take over this game? Am I gonna do this? Bridges trying to figure out, should I shoot this thing? Or should
Right.
I put up 3 or 4 in a row? What should I do? So I said it's gonna take us 25, maybe even 30 games before we really get into that groove. But I think we're gonna be dangerous after that.
I think people tend to forget, especially the media. We weren't the team that people saw us in the season as till
Mhm.
January. It
Yeah,
took January. So
yeah.
I mean, people just need to realize, and we have a comparable, the same record this year around this time that we did last year.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've fallen off or anything. I think it's because the Cavs are playing so great that it's seeming like we have a lot of ground to make up.
Hmm.
But no, we looked the same last year, so we'll be fine. We'll be
No doubt, no doubt. AJ, what's good, my brother? Shout out to Don in the chat. He said, "Man, I'm gonna be playing that Black Ops 6 while the game is on." Yeah, he's a Nana fan, but they didn't fell on some hard times too. So they got some people
fine.
missing. So they're not as bad shape as probably our squads, but
Not at all.
yeah, but they
I, will-
lost a couple that they didn't think they were gonna lose, especially even last week. So
I get
um,
it.
yeah, so we're
Mm.
gonna talk about that game as well, man. But I understand, brother. Trust me, I understand on that. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff is going on, man, over this past couple of weeks, but definitely within the past week. And one of the first things that popped up that we want to talk about, it's been all over social media and everything, has been Aaron Rodgers, right? Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers, so the Jets, things have not, worked out the way they thought they were going to work out. They hoped they would work out. I didn't think we would be at this point with the Jets. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, because we've been, watching the Jets, and we've seen that, they had a decent defense last year. Mm-hmm. Pretty decent defense for the most part this year. We saw some promise, and guys like Breece Hall. We just I just figured, I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I just figured that when Aaron Rodgers gets there, that you got a better quarterback than you've had. You got a 4-time MVP there, even though he's 41 years old, and this would at least be the piece to at least have them at least complete for a wild card spot at the very least. And it's not worked out that way. And now there was talk that the Jets may be considering releasing him. It could be on the table that they could actually release him and move on and just go ahead and start scrapping and rebuilding. Start thinking about their rebuilding and looking ahead. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Makes sense. I know they were saying he doesn't want to retire. I don't know of any franchise that is dumb enough to go after Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the Jets were set up. Let's just talk offensively. Let's not even talk defensively. Offensively, they're loaded. Why they don't work, it really doesn't make any sense. It looks like Devontae Adams is like when Randy Moss went to the 49ers. It looks like Breece Hall has taken a step back, but that might be touches more so than talent. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Didge. He said this weeks and weeks and weeks ago. You were ruining Wilson. So I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is looking real Peyton Manning at the end of Denver. And that might just be his reality. Because for me, if I'm a franchise, I'm not going to go through the struggle of signing Aaron Rodgers, and you got to get the coordinator he wants, the head coach he wants. You got to go get Devontae Adams again. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's just a recipe for a disaster. So for me, I think he should just retire. You're great. There is no shot you could ruin your legacy. Right. It's okay to hang it up. Not everyone can be Brady. Even in Brady's last year, he still didn't look this bad. So it's like, it might just be time, dog. It might just be time.
You think, Joel?
His body just couldn't keep up with him, I think, at the end of the day. I think he wanted to be there mentally. And the Jets did everything in their power to, concede almost all power to him so they can make it happen. Right. And it just didn't work out. And look, I was high on them. I thought if they were healthy, if he stayed healthy, they can do something. And obviously that was not the case. Not that I believe he's 100% healthy anyway, but they have enough talent to win games and just not doing it. And you can blame it on the coaches if you want, but those are the coaches they had at the time, and you have enough talent to win. And they just couldn't. At the end of the day, they just can't pull it out. And they have the talent. I think that's just the sucky part is they do have enough of a team there to make something happen. And the fact that what was the quarterback before him again?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. The fact that they have a better winning record with him as quarterback is sad at this point. I kind of there's a part of me that kind of just feel bad because it's like they were so happy when they got Aaron Rodgers. They were so psyched. I love it. It's insane how the worst possible things happened for that franchise after he got there. He got hurt, and then he came back, and then even after he came back, it didn't matter. But I think the best thing about it for them is if let's say they do get rid of Aaron Rodgers, they still have enough talent there to recoup. Obviously, they're gonna have to need the whole new coaching staff and maybe recoup a couple other things, but they're just at this point they're still pretty much a quarterback away, right? I mean that's I think the best thing you can look at. Yep. Best way you can look at it.
And you can ship out Devontae Adams to maybe get some more assets.
Yeah.
Maybe even wherever Aaron goes, send Devontae there. Get yourself some more assets. But yeah, I do believe they are a good quarterback away from contending. But
let's be specific.
Yeah, nothing has made me happier than all the smack I heard from Jet fans heading into this season and Dolphin fans heading into the season, only for their records to be comparable. So it's like I'm very excited that once New England goes into next season, we can maybe turn it around and be right in the mix again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm loving this. I'll forever thank Aaron Rodgers for tanking this franchise. Once again, I will always be thankful to him. So appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's this whole thing is something to watch because it's so many things that can happen. So they ride the season out with them, then start scrapping everything that they want to scrap at the end of the year. The talk we mentioned earlier about them just going ahead and releasing them because the season is pretty much done. And then how the money thing would work. I mean, because he was on 3 years, $112 million. I think next year it would work out. I think the cap hit. They would be on the hook if they kept him for, I think, for 17 of that. I don't think that contract kind of balloons until right at the end. But then if you cut him and then you talk about how the dead money would work, I think they'd be paying that money and the higher part of that contract, I think going into like 2028, 2029, the way it would work, how they would spread it out. So they've got a lot of decisions to make. They've got a lot of decisions to make. Now, they could decide to go ahead and take the hit and just try to rely on making smart decisions. Not something that I don't know if we can say they've done that through the better part of the last 10 years. I mean, they've had, one winning season in the past 10 years? I think they had one where they went 10-6, but they went 10-6 a few years ago, and then you have to go back, I think, 9 or 10 years to when they went 8-8.
Yeah, didn't Fitzpatrick get them 10 wins? Wasn't that Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I'm trying to remember, was he the quarterback when they?
Yeah, it was Ryan. I remember that because I think it was one of the last few years of Brady. And it was Ryan versus Brady, I believe. I think Ryan was the last time that they had a winning season. That man's been in the booth for like the last 4 years. That's crazy.
Ryan was the backup then, and then it's not like Ryan was the main quarterback either. Like I think he was a replacement for even that year. So
right, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so do they rely on hopefully this time they're fine. They fired Douglas. They fired Salah. Like, do they hope they can get someone to help them make the right decisions, and then also rely on the fact that, of course, by the time they get towards the end of this thing, the salary cap is going to continue to rise. I don't know how much that would help them, but I mean, it's got to help, a lot. It helps some. So it's it's going to be crazy to watch.
Yeah, I think they should go back after Rex.
Really? I know he wants to.
I do. I really do. And as much as this pains me to say, they have all the recipes that made up for what Rex did successfully last time he was there.
Right.
You have a really good defense with a stout corner, right? You have a really good running back. Obviously, Breece Hall is not LaDainian Tomlinson, but a really good running back. You got receivers, right? You're just missing a quarterback. And honestly, if you wanted to take a rental year, you can just go get a quarterback that limits his turnovers and can just not lose you a game and allow that defense to keep games close, and go kind of stack up that defense a little bit. And you could be right in the conversation. Why not? Essentially Rex Ryan could make this team look a little bit kind of like how Baker makes the Buccaneers look. To where they're not great, they're not horrible, but they will always compete. And I think a lot of Baker's, mishaps this year is losing Mike for as long as he did. But I think Rex can go to the Jets and kind of do that, and create some kind of success for this franchise.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, if I was a Jets fan, I'd be intrigued.
It's crazy. And it's crazy you said that because Rex just flashed across my screen. Almost like they can hear you talking. I look at one of the games and there's Rex. But Rex will go anywhere that'll have him at this point. I mean, Rex, Rex can say he can fix everything, but I didn't think about that. I didn't really think about that, but I think I agree. I would like to see Rex back there.
Yeah,
I would like to see Rex back there.
It'd be a fun story. I mean, that'd be a nice story, for next year if that were to happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried.
And I think he's still cool with Woody, right? So it's like,
yeah, should be. I don't think there's any bad blood there.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, what do you think at this point in his career? What do you think they could actually get for Davante Adams? I think they can get something.
It depends. It depends. I think you'll turn out a lot luckier if Aaron gets a team. If Aaron gets a team, that team is going to feel obligated to give Aaron what he wants, you would assume. So then you can probably say, well, that team's going to want, to make Aaron happy, and Aaron wants Davante. So you could probably fleece somebody out of Davante. But where you might take a hit is if Aaron doesn't find a team and maybe has a sit this season, because then you're depending on his Davante Adams legacy as opposed to what he's been doing recently. And for a lot of teams, they might look at you and go, third round. And you're like, no, a second. They're like, no. No, buddy. No. Sorry, third.
What did they pay to get him?
Second, I think. Also, remember, the Raiders were done. The Raiders were very much done with Davante Adams.
And he made it clear he wanted to go too.
Yeah, he was very
right.
I'm not playing anyway. So.
Right. I mean, think about it. They essentially sent him exactly where he wanted to go. That almost never happens. Yeah. So, that's why I said if Aaron picks a team, that franchise might be desperate to just keep him happy. So. But he shouldn't get you much. I mean, unless there's some gas in that tank we're not seeing, because maybe he doesn't want to waste it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to look at it, because it's like there's no way he had this big of a drop off just from last year to this year. You know what I'm saying? But I think honestly it'd be a feel good story. I'd love Davante Adams to go back home. I'd love to see Davante Adams with those young receivers in Green Bay. I'd love to see Jordan Love, Davante Adams, and the rest of those guys. I personally love to see it.
Could use a vet over there.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because everybody they got is all those receivers are young.
Yeah, babies.
Quarterback, he's been in the league a couple years, but he's still young. I mean, but yeah,
that'd be a fun watch.
Yeah, man. So just to see the Jets, man, I was thinking when Aaron Rodgers got there, and definitely after they brought the Davante in, I'm thinking, well, shoot, like I say, these people don't have to outscore everybody, but I'm pretty sure this team can get to 23, 24 points per game. That's what I'm thinking. 23, 24 points a game. I mean, he's got to be, worth at least an extra touchdown. That's what I'm thinking. A touchdown, per game in this one. And here we are sitting with them averaging about 18 points a game. And, that's not going to cut it in today's
No. I got it. No.
Even the teams that are not great, you know what I'm saying? There are teams out here that are not great at all that are averaging, more than 18 points a game, So
not mine.
Not mine.
Yeah, nothing to say.
But there are teams.
I don't know who they are, but I'm sorry, everybody but mine.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that feels like, but yeah, no, that sounds great.
Yeah, I would love to average 18 points.
Yeah, so so you mentioned Juwan, so they talked about Aaron obviously wants to play again, and the situation is right. And of course they're saying it's definitely not with the Jets. A nice way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to speculate who would be that team, because you're, like you say, you're essentially getting them for probably 1 year. 2 if you're pushing it, and what you'd be willing to give up, and how your team is made and constructed, what your salary cap is looking like, what your plan is 2 years out, I afford just to go ahead and bring him in for a year because we're just right on the cusp of this at least until I can figure out some other things? Or can I bring him in because my salary cap is going to look a little different after, this year? So, but definitely like the Jets, man, the Jets got contracts they're going to have to be thinking about after this year, anyway. You have to figure out some of their, their bigger name guys. So, yeah, so I think it's safe to say that I don't think any of us believe that whether he's cut or released or whatever the situation is before this season is over, or definitely, when the season is done, I don't think any of us expect him to be back with New York next year.
No,
I can't. No.
The coach maybe Carolina.
Oh boy, he just might retire, bro. Just gonna retire.
I'm just saying, if you talk about a franchise desperate enough, they don't know what to do. Young talent, old talent.
I don't know that he's gonna want to do that.
Might be the only place for you to play.
That might be because if you remember a few weeks ago, he wasn't speculating on his future. He would say that he still felt like he could play, but also that when he kind of danced around the idea of the question when somebody asked him about playing again. You see what I'm saying? After the season. So I don't know. I mean, I know Aaron wants to play, but Carolina, dog, even if you give me Devontae to go over there, like, nah. I probably just said it down.
You're not wrong. His best bet might be keep working out all off season into next season. Yeah, and then whoever's starting quarterback gets knocked out for the season.
Somebody come and try to fill out.
Yeah, right. That's your best bet because you got to think about it. All the bad teams in the NFL right now should be looking to go draft their next quarterback.
Yeah.
Not going after Aaron Rodgers, So it's like I don't really know anyone that's dumb enough to do that.
And they are because it's going basically we already know what's going to happen. We know that this shuffling is going to take place because there's two quarterbacks that are going to go in the top 10 very easy next year.
Maybe 1, 2.
Yeah, Shador, and Cam Ward. They're going to go.
Yeah.
So beyond that, what teams are left? Darn, I didn't get either one of these guys. Now what I want to do now? How is my team constructed? Do I need to try to buy somebody for another year at least and see where we are? Yeah, It's going to be interesting. So, just in the know. Also in quarterback news, so as we mentioned before, close to home for you, Joel, would be Mr. Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones asked to be released, and they granted his release. I thought. I wasn't there in training camp, so I thought it was kind of disrespectful. But when they started talking about they had this brother before his release out here playing defense, playing safety for the team in the practices, I'm like, come on, man, y'all can't do this, man. Like,
to be fair,
he could be useful.
He volunteered to be the safety that practice. We were down.
He's a good sport. He's a good. He's a good teammate.
Hey, you never know. He might have went up to the coach and said, "Hey, I don't see quarterback in my future. What else can I do?" Well, you can play safety. All right, I'll do that.
He played safety for a couple snaps. Like, nah, I gotta go back to quarterback.
He's like, I get hit here more than I did as quarterback.
But yeah, that happened. So it all happened kind of quickly, even though it was all like about time. Because obviously, look, it all. Once we lost to Carolina in Germany, it was one of those things where like, well, this has to be the end. Everyone sat there. I felt it. Look, it's funny. I was actually there for his last game at MetLife Stadium. It was fitting. I was there on his last game. Look, he didn't look good there either. I remember that fumble that went all the way back almost to the end zone. I'm like, I don't know how that even happened, but it happened. It's just he's been unlucky, and he hasn't been great, especially after he got paid. It's just like, and look, I'm not going to blame it all on him. We've had a really terrible line most of the time he's been with us. I think this has probably been the best line he's worked with, and it's been hurt, So, but that's why you can't. It's hard to give him. You can make as many excuses as you can. Sometimes there were points during that game against Carolina where it's like he's missing open players. They're like, they're wide open, and he's sailing it over their heads, or he's like. And don't get me wrong, he's had moments in this year, even this year, where he's looked pretty decent. Problem is, he's very inaccurate long ball. He's not a long ball thrower. He just isn't. If he did have it, it's gone now. Whatever, it's not there anymore. He'll probably get lucky once in a while, but it's very rare that he looks for it.
Right.
Very dink and dive. It's just, if you're gonna stick to that, if you want to play safe, we've shown that he can play safe and he can run the ball. Obviously, he can run the ball, and he runs hard. Like he's not scared to run. He'll go head first. Crazy motherfucker. He knows he has neck injuries, so he'll do it. Which is I applaud him for all that, because the guy's quick and he's strong, right. And he's tough. He's a tough mofo, but he's just not, he's probably better off being a backup, and that's probably where he's going to end up. Now that I think he's cleared waivers, so now it's just a matter of time for
not till tomorrow.
Well, he'll clear, because they're
expecting it.
I would love them to pick. I would be great if someone picked them up before then, but to take that money. But he'll clear the waivers and he'll end up being a backup somewhere probably. And that's probably where he's better off. Probably better off as a backup. Obviously here it was never going to work out even as a backup. Once you've been demoted from QB1, you're toast. And so I went he slowly went from
unless you're Bryce Young.
Well, Bryce Young's still young, so there's still a chance for him. They keep flipping. They're gonna lose that man soon if they keep flipping. But with Daniel Jones, obviously it was a matter of time, and the fact that we brought in another quarterback on top of that is one of those things where I understand why he wanted out, and he got paid already, and we weren't playing him mainly because we don't want him to get hurt. Because if he did get hurt, he get guaranteed money for being hurt, and that's really what it came down to. So cutting him now, cutting him later, it didn't matter. He was not going to be on the team next year, so I respect it. I wish him luck. I do want to see him succeed, but obviously it just wasn't going to be here. And hey, we move on now. We got Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets. Again, we've seen him succeed here somehow. So it's not always going to look good. He's fine. I don't expect him to be the future by any means, but he should hold down the fort till the draft, which is where I'm looking, and that's where we should be looking for as a quarterback of the future in the draft. That's the plan, at least.
They're listing the potential suitors or teams that have already shown interest at some point. Will be the Ravens, the 49ers, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Dolphins.
I can tell you right now, best spot for him, it's gonna sound crazy, the Ravens. The reason why the Ravens are the best spot for him is because you can actually use him the exact way he should always and only be used, as a potential wildcat offense. Whenever you have short situational yards, where you don't want to keep putting Lamar Jackson in those run and get hit moments, let Daniel get hit. Put Daniel out there with Derrick Henry, right? Where it's either Daniel can maybe run for the short yardage or hand it off to Derrick Henry. You can essentially use him the way the Saints have been using their quote-unquote tight end, that's really a quarterback. They use that kid like a Swiss Army knife. Use Daniel Jones like that. Use Daniel Jones where you're just like, I don't want our quarterback to get hit, so you go take those hits for him. So in these moments where we need a crash test dummy, you're our guy, Daniel. And I think the best team is Baltimore because they already kind of have that kind of offense, the Wildcat offense.
I saw someone mention Detroit as a good option. They can, because Ben Johnson might end up being a coach someday, and you never know. When you get a backup quarterback, you might like someone. You might hitch your ride to someone that needs some quarterback help somewhere else, and that might find him a job somewhere else. And that's what you got to think about the future. So it's not really about this year. You got to think about the next couple of years. You got to right now he has to revive his fucking career because it's not looking good. So right now he has to look, even if it's as a backup for a couple snaps here and there, he needs a future. That's really what it comes down to.
Let Daniel get hit is hilarious. I'm just saying, put him in a Wildcat offense.
That's why I'm not sure that's the best idea for Daniel Jones.
That might be your best chance to touch a football. It might be.
That's why I don't know if that's really what something he should be worried about. I think he's worried about he should just ride to a good OC.
Well, you look
I think they got one in Baltimore. I think they got a really good one in Baltimore.
Okay, but if his job is to be a decoy and
no, not a decoy. I that was more so me trying to be funny. But no, use him. I thought they did very well with Drew Brees and what's it, Taysom? I think it's Taysom or something like that. Yes. Yeah, when they were using those two, like, okay, here's your traditional drop back quarterback in Drew Brees, and we're going to bring this kid in as a Swiss Army knife. That kid could do everything.
Taysom does do everything, though.
I know, but he's a quarterback that just so happens to understand I might not ever be a starting quarterback. Let me find what else I can do.
A quarterback that sometimes lines up at tight end.
Right, exactly, right. So that's what I'm saying.
Tight end.
If you're Daniel Jones, don't think more so, what's my best chance to be a quarterback again? Think what's my best chance to get on the field to showcase that I can help win. And in helping win, they could go, all right, yeah, maybe we let you drop back a couple times, or maybe we let you do this. Just think what's my best chance to play, if that's what you want to do. But if you just want to hold the clipboard and the headset, then by all means, go anywhere.
That should be the designation for most players. But when you're QB, it's hard to let go.
It is. But look, Tebow did that shit quick, fast, and in a hurry. He said, fullback, I'll do it. Tight end, I'll do it. Offensive lineman, I'll do it.
And that's because he wanted to play. He wanted to play.
I think Daniel should be in that same mindset. But I do think it's hilarious, Prime, that we all had a Jones problem. You got a Jerry Jones problem. I had a Mac Jones problem. Joel had a Daniel Jones problem.
Joneses.
You're the only one left with the Jones problem, Prime. We got the Jones.
His is the only, though.
I didn't do anything about mine. So, let nature take its course on that one. And that still ain't going to be fixed. So, it's in the family.
Yeah, I was about to say, it'll just get passed down to another Jones.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So if you look at all those teams, the thing about it is, at least if he wants a chance to, to get a ring, 4 of those teams are legit teams that can make a run for the Super Bowl. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if the Niners get healthy, you never know. The Ravens are the Ravens. We got an MVP there. Vikings, of course. They've been up and down lately, but still, what do they got? Like 2 losses, I think. Like they're sitting on top of their division, and of course, the Lions are the Lions. I mean, so and you never want anything bad to happen, but I'm just saying,
never know.
I say out of all those teams, your best option to possibly throw a football again are coming from Baltimore and the 49ers. Those are just 2 quarterbacks again.
I don't agree with that one though. You said to ever throw it again.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's Miami.
Yeah.
Well, no, you say that. You say that, but think about it. Since he's come into the league, has Brock Purdy ever finished the season healthy?
No, but you were just saying to ever throw it again. Like the 49ers are intent on Brock Purdy being their quarterback for the near future.
Oh, no. I don't mean being a new starting quarterback. I just mean because of the injuries, you'll get a chance. But yeah, if you're talking Miami, Tua will always give you an opportunity to be quarterback. That's for sure.
Not even trying to lobby for this man's career to end, but I'm just saying. I mean, we're at the point now. Tua, you can say every player is a hit away, but you've had multiple concussions and things of that nature, and the neck issue. Daniel Jones goes there as a backup. Could end up spinning that into a starting job, for maybe a new contract for at least a couple of years. I'm just saying.
I tell you this. One thing that Joel said that we need to remember is for however much we think Tua is a reckless head case, Daniel runs just as much and maybe harder because he's bigger. So it's like Daniel's liable of getting the same kind of hits Tua gets.
But he don't have that history though.
He has a neck history though.
Don't have concussion history, but he does have neck history.
He does have a neck history, and that could be worse.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah, that could be worse, especially with how hard he runs. So,
he had some runs this year. I'm like, he doesn't care.
No, not at all. He knew his job was on the line. He said, "Fuck
it. What have I got to lose at this point?"
Yeah, he's like, "I just run into a wall." Yeah. That'd be crazy though if you're Miami. Put all that money into Tua, he gets injured. Then all that money into Daniel, he gets injured, and you're just like, you know what? maybe we stop doing quarterbacks. Maybe we reinvent the wheel somehow. Maybe we just get our running back to throw.
Yeah, Wildcat.
See what else we can do.
Man, oh man. Pride with Duke. Pride of Duke. They thought they really had something out off the basketball court. Huh?
It's so funny because anytime I think of Daniel Jones, all I see in my head is that video of Joe Budden just in shock that they drafted him, and then me going, "What's the big deal? What's the problem?" And then I'm like, "You went to Duke?" I'm like, "Duke has a football team?" I'm like, "I've never heard of that, like ever in my life." It was so many things I was shocked by. Like, what? So that's my memory of Daniel. Is everyone just going, who? And then me going, what's the big deal? And I'm like, oh, Duke, interesting. Very interesting.
Man, oh man. So you think do you think that can he be an effective starter somewhere else?
Yes, but your offensive line has to be like the offensive line Romo had. Like it has to be that good. Like every last one of your tackles needs to be all pro. Like, all of them.
He can hold down the fort. He can hold on. He can't like win you games, but he can definitely like if you want to play safe and like ball management, you can probably do that. Don't make him do anything crazy. You can do that. I've seen him do it. Like it's possible.
What Joel is saying is
like you said, if you got a good line in front of him, especially, you know what I mean.
Joel's pretty much trying to say if you got a good kicker and your defense can keep it in field goal range, Daniel Jones can get you those. He can get you a lot of those.
He can get you. Yeah, even if you're in the red zone, he can get you a run. He can get you a rushing touchdown for sure.
Y'all sure, man? Like 2 years from now, we're not looking at NFL comeback player of the year.
If we do, that will need to be studied. If we do, that will need to be studied on what did the Giants do so wrong? Like, where was this whole time? That will need to be studied for sure.
We'll be sitting here. He will be sitting here. He's replacing, I don't know, what, Derek Carr. And we're sitting here talking about him. And the Saints are sitting there like after 10 weeks, they're sitting there at like, 7-3. I was like, wait a minute.
Hey, you say that. Look at how we're looking at Sam Darnold now, and look how we were looking at Sam Darnold back then.
Great comparison. Yeah,
well, we'll see, But I think the biggest thing for Daniel that he needs to work on is his arm. Because if you can throw a cannon like Sam Darnold can throw a cannon, you'll be much better because you're not putting your body at risk.
He's not the only quarterback. Look at Geno Smith. Look at what's his name? In Tampa Bay. So there's like Baker. Yeah, there's plenty of guys that you never know.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about they don't have arm talent. I'm like, what?
Oh no, I'm talking about they were almost out of the league. Is what I'm saying. Like they were like looking for jobs. I want to say Darnold. Yeah, I don't know if he secured that QB position, but
if he loses it, that'll be crazy.
I only
got 2 losses.
God damn. Yeah, seems good. I'm just saying. But as of right now, there's always a chance that he can rebound, but we'll see.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I wish him luck, man.
There's always one.
Indeed. All right. Another thing before we, I think we're going to pick 6 games today. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, do you see a team or teams right now that may be flying under the radar? And what I mean is it's not one of the, of course, it's not the Ravens. It's not the Chiefs. It's not the, the Philadelphia Eagles right now, the Detroit Lions. Is there a team that no one is talking about that if they got into the playoffs, from what you've seen, up to this point, that people should be scared of or maybe can make a run?
100%.
And at least win a game maybe in the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. And you know the exact team I'm going to say. Baker. 100%. 100% I think that team can be dangerous. They dealt with some injuries this season. Mike was gone for 2, 3, 4 weeks.
He comes back today.
Right. So yeah. I think as they start to get a little bit healthier, I'm not saying it like the Buccaneers will run the gauntlet, but if you're talking about just getting to the postseason and winning a game and maybe shocking one of the higher seeded teams, for sure, I think it's the Buccaneers.
Yeah, the source and I were talking in the course. They haven't made us look that good here recently, but the one team, well, it's not the one team. The team he and I spoke of course, was the Cincinnati Bengals, but they keep getting tripped up. They're right there in those games, and I think they've done an admirable job if you consider the injuries they had defensively, and they played the better part of this season, of course, without T. Higgins, and still out here lighting everybody up. We're talking about a team that came in last week where you had a quarterback that was leading the league in passing. You had a wide receiver that was in Chase that was leading the league in receiving yards. And you had Hendrickson, who was leading the league in sacks. And here you are sitting right around the bottom of your division, And they're the type of team. Now, it would take a lot at this point because they're definitely that division is a two-team race. It is what it is. They would have to go on a crazy run over the rest of the season, to be honest with you, just to get into wild card position. But we've seen crazier things. I mean, we have seen crazier things. We've seen them go on runs here in the past. But I think that team, if they were to find a way to get into this thing, I don't care if it's Baltimore, because we see how they play against Baltimore. I don't care if it's Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care if it's the Buffalo Bills. That is a team in the AFC that you do not want to see. Because they can score with anybody. Now, they can't stop everybody. That's the thing. But if you're talking about a team that could, when they're healthy, because they're putting up points without T. Higgins, bro. That's the crazy part. Right. If they got into it and you want to get into a 40-38 shootout, they can do it. And we know that the Ravens' weakness is that secondary, right?
Oh, so for sure.
That secondary, it came into last week, Jawan, is the worst, number 32 secondary, pass secondary in the entire league last going into this, they were in that position the past 3 weeks. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you need a team that could get into a shootout with you, it's one game. It's a one-game tournament at that point. Every one of those teams should worry because they can do it. Now, they may have to put up 30-something to beat you, But if it happens to be a close game, they can do that too.
You're not wrong at all. My only concern for Cincinnati, if they can run the gauntlet and get to the postseason, is they are the exact team they were when they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They have a horrendous offensive line.
Terrible.
Remember what that Super Bowl came down to. Aaron Donald versus your offensive line lost, right? Then you look across the teams you're talking about. I'm taking Chris Jones over that offensive line. I fear Chris Jones more than I fear Henderson or Hendrickson.
Henderson.
Yeah.
Henderson.
So I trust Mahomes getting out of that situation more than I trust Joe Burrow being able to get out of a Chris Jones situation.
Well, I'll say this, and you know me, nobody outside of a Kansas City Chiefs fan loves Patrick Mahomes more than me. That was my guy when he was in college. And I source will tell you 100 times. He said if Prime hasn't been right about anything, he told me that this guy is going to be it. He talks about it all the time. My only thing with Kansas City, and I go on the record, when we pick Kansas City games almost every week, you already know I'm not going to pick against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care who they're playing because I've seen them win it every kind of way imaginable. I've seen them beat the brakes off of teams. I've seen them come back from 4 scores? Was it 4 scores, I believe, against the Titans years ago, like in the playoffs, to win a game. I've seen them win the close game. I've seen them play a horrible game for 3 quarters, but I only need a possession or 2. Yep. I've seen it all. So I'd never bet against them. The one thing you can say about them up to this point, which we saw this last year too, and we saw this 2 years ago when they won it, is that offensively there are large periods during the game where they're not clicking. They'll get a few drives, but they're not clicking. They're not putting up 38. We might go into the third quarter and they're sitting there at 14 points. You see what I'm saying? So I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on what you said about them, but I'm just saying that it's a one-game tournament. At some point or another, we all know, what the Chiefs have done to the Buffalo Bills. We just saw the Bills beat them last week, and we know that team and Josh Allen is money against Mahomes in the regular season. What is he now? 4-1, I think, in the regular season, something like that.
Yep.
But he's never beaten them in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's that Peyton Manning Brady syndrome.
Yeah, but we all know at some point it's going to end. At some point, somebody's going to beat them. One of those teams is going to beat them probably in the playoffs. I'm not saying it's going to be this year, but I'm just saying, and Cincinnati has a long road to hoe to even get into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about a AFC team on that side. I think nobody would really want to play them on a given Sunday. I'm telling you, they might get beat the next week.
Yeah,
but they can win the shootout, and if it's close enough, they don't need. Chase might catch 4 passes the whole game. You just know one of them might be the one that burns you. But let me give you another one too, real quick. Though. I'm gonna give you another one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to get in, but watch the Denver Broncos for 1 week. I'm just telling you.
Denver Broncos.
Watch the Denver Broncos for 1 week.
I was just thinking about it.
Man, because they play defense.
Mm-hmm.
That secondary is nasty, especially with
the Tan and them boys. Yep.
They are nasty. And now you have a guy that I really like, and I know the people in here telling me talk because I talk about him every week. I like Bo Nix, man. Bo Nix got
Bo Nix is showing up. Yeah.
Like we see what Peyton did for Russ last year. And granted, Russ ain't that type of player. He's gonna bark back, but we on the sidelines, they show the sidelines, and you see what Sean Payton, the way he treated Russ right a couple of times. One of them was really evident. Bo won't go on for that. We saw a few weeks ago, Bo barked right back at him. I'm saying that's a real do what I do. Right? As he continues to grow as a passer, he's going to be crazy, but he's got the legs. We were talking about Daniel Jones early and some of these guys. He'll take off on you in a heartbeat, and he's smart. And he's getting it done. They lost to Judy. They lost a couple other guys to injury. It's a shuffle at running back. But he puts it down, man. I really like this guy. So if you're talking about a team that every team would have to watch, I think that's probably going to make the playoffs in one game, a wild card maybe. Denver is a dangerous team because they got their defense is good enough that they just need to hang around till the fourth quarter. So watch the Denver Broncos if they get into this thing.
I don't disagree. I just don't think if I'm the Chiefs, Denver and Cincinnati is what I'm worried about. I do think if you're the Bills, I do think if you're the Ravens, I do think if you're Pittsburgh, those two teams you should fear because, like you said, it's one game. It's just, and I hate to say it because I used to only reserve this for Tom, but if there's anyone in the history of the sport that could beat you at just the line of scrimmage, not even hiking the ball, it's Mahomes.
It's 15,
and, right? And that team is still young in Denver. And if there's anyone that can expose that, it's definitely Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I think Denver is maybe 1 year away from really being talked about. But any other team that in the AFC, I think Denver is primed to go in there and shot.
And don't forget,
don't see it in Kansas City.
And don't forget, we talk about the great Andy Reid. Of course, we know that Andy Reid is that guy. But I would trust Sean Payton in one game because, granted, you're 100% right about Andy Reid and not shouldn't worry about him. Well, they probably wouldn't have to worry about him at least in the first round because Andy Reid's not going to be in the wild card game.
Right.
They're going to be sitting there. They're going to be sitting at home.
Right.
You're going to have a big pizza and a drink,
Big pizza.
Now, to John's point, my only issue with the Chargers is they're just – and this pains me to say because it used to be my guy. I don't trust Herbert. I really don't. I think that team's been playing well, but I don't trust them. I don't, man. I don't. Every time I'm like, you know what? Herbert's going to do it. Fails me every single time.
But the one thing about
you do have to respect that they're playing really well, though.
The one thing that you have to say to this point, what are they, like 7-3, I think, at this point, 7-3, 8, whatever it is. Defensively, they've been lights out. Like they have been,
as they should be.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Herbert doesn't have to be the hero every week in that thing, or have to be that guy that come in there and throw for 350 every game. That defense has been unbelievably good. And if you go back to think about the expectations we had for that Charger defense the past 3 or 4 years, with the studs by name at least that were on that defensive side, their shortcomings were crazy. Like, you know, you think about, Bosa and some of those other guys that they had, at secondary, in that secondary, even at linebacker, for a year or two. They've had some shortcomings, but this year that defense is lights out, and that's what nobody's talking about. So in one game, I agree with JB. If we're talking about a one-game scenario, I'd be scared to play him.
Could we argue that Chargers has the best pass rush, corner, safety trio in NFL?
I would agree.
Say pass rush, corner, safety trio. So you go Bosa, Asante Samuel Jr., and then
your linebacker is
no, your safety.
22.
Why am I blanking on his name? Yeah,
I'm drawing a
safety for the Chargers. Derwin James, thank you.
No, and I should know, of course, because he's FSU, but yeah.
Yeah, Derwin James.
Derwin James is a complete package.
Yep, you could argue that. You could definitely argue that they have the best trio right now. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna need that trio to really.
Harbaugh has gotten a lot out of those guys that they weren't getting out of those guys before.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. So yeah, John, you're right. They should watch out for the Chargers. It's just like I said, it's hard because the Chiefs are just like, they're mentally such a juggernaut, and everyone always comes in with the idea of we can do it. And outside of Cincinnati 1 year, no one's been able to do it. So it's like, it's just really difficult to believe that this is the year. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like the Chiefs have regressed. They went and got DeAndre Hopkins, right? So it's like they're slightly getting better.
The Chiefs are just showing you that we can win another way. This guy can't. Because you go back and you think about the Chiefs, guys. If you look at all those Super Bowls that they won, especially the first couple, you can never go back and say that they had a lights out defense. They had ballers. We know what Jones is. We know what Frank Clark was. We know when they had the Honey Badger early on. Over the years they had L'Jarius Sneed, which I wish he was still a Chief, but he's doing big things over there with the Titans. Right. They've got a decent secondary now. But we could never go back and say they had a. Put it this way: this defense that they have right now, the way they've played, I will tell you, is his overall the way they've played is playing better than any of those other 3 Super Bowl wins that they had. Those defenses,
And don't forget, no Isaiah Pacheco. They're about to get him back.
Yep.
That team's revving up at the perfect time of the year. So as long as everyone can stay healthy, it's still the Chiefs' Super Bowl to lose.
Oh, no question. Until you beat them, until you put them on. Had to remind a lot of people that last week when they took their L. We've seen this before. We see this all the time.
Especially the Bills. Bills love to flex in the regular season and then cry in the postseason. So, till I see otherwise, that's just their recipe. So,
the thing about Buffalo, which is crazy, is people won't admit it now, but they were looking for that epic fall coming into this season. You don't have Diggs. You've lost, 3 of your best defensive players. You don't have this, you don't have that. And here we are talking about who, in my opinion, going into last week was the number 2 guy behind Lamar Jackson in the MVP race. But it looked like MVP, but Lamar was running away with it. Josh definitely gained some ground back last week.
Mhm.
He gained some ground. And here's a team that's running away with their division right now. So kind of like Biggie used to say on that song, y'all prayed and prayed for my downfall. And here I am. I'm sitting right here. He just has to get it done in the playoffs now. So
that's all that matters. We'll see.
Joe, anybody else you can think about, man? We were talking because we mentioned I brought up Cincinnati if they found a miraculous way to get in, or also we talked about I talked about Denver. Then my man JB brought up the Chargers. Anybody else you can think of? Anybody, the team, nobody's talking about that may be able to get into the playoffs.
Let's see. I do like
I ain't
the
talking
Broncos
about
one. I haven't. Only reason I even. Well, you said one game, right?
Yeah.
You got one game.
Yeah. Not necessarily running the gauntlet to the Super Bowl.
Because you think that one game could be the game that knocks a team out that we think that they may have a shot.
John, I said the Buccaneers. I went Buccaneers. That was my pick.
Buccaneers ain't bad.
He said, "How about an NFC team?" And I'm like, "I went the Bucs."
You want to do NFC instead?
No. John was just asking, "How about an NFC?"
We never really other Juwan didn't mention the Bucs, but other than that, I didn't bring up anybody from the NFC. I do have one though.
I have one too. I have another one.
I had one I thought about, and then I'm not so sure about now as I was a few weeks ago. One of them I'm quite sure.
Mine, I'm definitely not quite sure, but I feel confident enough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel confident enough to back them, but
I have no idea right now. The only for the AFC, I was also thinking Broncos,
right?
Primarily because of the defense. I have them on my fantasy, and they've been, at least for I think one, aside from like maybe one or two games, they've been lights out. They've been really good, But I haven't really paid attention enough to know like who should I like. Chargers recently made me be glad to pick up Herbert. I know he's been better, so I know the Chargers have been better. But yeah, I don't really have no one else in mind.
I'll throw you one, Joel. I'll throw Seattle out there.
I also have Gino.
Yeah,
but interesting matchup. They play. Don't they play Kyler Murray in the day? Is that who they play?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's going to be a big
They
game.
got the Cardinals. I mean, I like Seattle on paper. They're really good. I mean, they're obviously they got a strong roster. I do like them. I think they should. To me, they've been underperforming, but it is what it is. Like I don't know. I would have to like who are they playing today? The Cardinals. What's their record?
Yeah, they're playing the Cardinals.
Seattle.
Yeah,
I
Seattle.
can look it up. Give me 1 second.
Checking you. I think it's the Cardinals.
it is.
I think.
I like Seattle though. Yeah.
Seattle's 5-5. Cardinals are 6-4.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun game to watch. I didn't get a chance to see it.
I didn't know Cardinals were 6-4. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember they turned it around very quickly when Kyler Murray realized he had Marvin Harrison Jr. over there. Yeah. Once he figured that out, he's just like, oh, that's what that's like. Okay, yeah. All right, we can win games. I like John's pick, Prime. My only issue is
Packers. I like Packers.
My only issue is what Jair Alexander are you getting? Because if you're getting the Jair Alexander that thinks he's Richard Sherman in his prime, that defense can be as dangerous as any defense in the NFC. But when you get the Jair Alexander that kind of seems like he's phoning it in a little bit and he's not playing to his full potential, you see the holes in that defense. But if you're talking about just purely off of the offense, Jordan Love has already shown I can go in there and go get you a game. Get you a game.
For sure.
So if there's any young quarterback to really kind of put your chips behind, if this were Vegas, it would be the Packers. So I don't disagree with you, John. I start to think to myself, okay, let's say you got to go up against Justin Jefferson. Are you getting the best Jair Alexander you can get? If you have to go up against DK Metcalf, are you getting the best, Jair Alexander you can get, or Marvin Harrison Jr. or studs like that? So that's usually my biggest question. Mainly because you see a lot today, more so than really ever, you're seeing a lot of these big name receivers are moving their positions. So like you'll see them start wide and then they'll move in, right? So they can take your third best corner or your linebacker. So you need a corner that will stay on him like glue, right? So it's like, can Jair Alexander for a full game stay on the best receiver and shut him down? I think he has a talent to do it. Can he do it though? Is the question. So that's usually my biggest question mark for the Packers is that defense.
What you say?
No, I was just going to point out. This is the first time I look at the standings since week 1. So I didn't know what everyone was doing, and I'm like, oh wow, I had no idea there were so many different. I was not expecting this. I didn't realize Detroit was 9-1 at all. Mm-hmm. I was like, holy crap! They only lost the one game. Minnesota 8-2. I figured that they've been hot. I didn't know Green Bay was 7-3. That was caught me off guard. This is interesting. I should have probably looked at this earlier. But yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota. I think I like the most coming out of the NFC. But look, Pittsburgh 8-3. Even though I've heard Pittsburgh has been good till last week. They lost this week, right?
Yep, Steelers. They lost in the snow to
the Browns. Yeah. Jameis and the Browns. I know. I have Jerry Jeudy, and he's been playing well.
To be fair, Jameis had Jesus on his side in that game, so
yeah, and
he was powerful. Yeah.
Snow games. Snow games are fun to watch. I can't imagine they're fun to play in. That's got to be insane. Anyway, sorry, you guys are talking.
No, I just really like John's 2 picks. I think if you told me. I think if Vegas took the odds of Packers-Chargers Super Bowl, a lot of people would scuff at it, but it's very possible. One win, all they need is, one win. They don't have to get 7 or 4. Those 2 teams are very dangerous. John is coming with the heat. They both have inconsistencies on the opposite sides of the ball that worry me. Mm-hmm. And then they have quarterbacks in each division that I'm like, that's a juggernaut over there. You got to get past. So that's my only concern. But I wouldn't be shocked if we look up and we're like, AFC Championship game is Chargers? Like what? Or NFC Championship game is the Packers? So yeah, I just want to give John his props.
Yeah, I definitely like your assessment on that defense. On that one thing I will say though, what has flown under the radar, we're talking about under the radar teams. Was under the radar as a safety, Xavier McKinney, though.
Oh yes.
But he, Jair hasn't had to, anchor that whole thing by itself. McKinney is balling.
Yes, he is.
I mean, balling. I've seen a couple of games where who were they playing? Jordan Love had just thrown an interception. That's the one thing you got to watch with him. Mm-hmm. He will sling it 3 touchdowns in there, but he'll throw a lot of interceptions too. Yep. He what is Green Bay now had a gunslinger, right?
That's all they ever know.
That's
all they ever know.
But I saw him throw an interception literally in the red zone and flip around 2 plays later and McKinney takes it right back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that looks like Jair Alexander. That like McKinney. He just jumps right in front of it. Then he had another one where same thing.
I like that.
Costly turnover. Love throws an interception. I think it was the very next play on defense. McKinney comes flying, hits the receiver as he catches the ball. The ball pops up in the air and they pick it off. So they've got that on their side. I think the only thing that scares me about Green Bay is, of course, is whether or not Jordan Love continues to ascend. And like I said, we see every week he's got the it factor, meaning he's one of those quarterbacks that we watch him and it's a different receivers every time. Last week, Watson was making all the big plays in it. The week before that, or a couple of weeks before that, it might have been Jaden Daniels who can show. I mean, not Jaden Daniels, Reed. Jaden Reed show up. That's when you think, Romeo Doubs is even on the field. He comes out with the big game. It's somebody different almost every week for the Green Bay Packers, and I think that's a good thing to have. So, yep, I think they could be dangerous. I'll slide this in there real quick. The team that I thought weeks ago we would be talking about today was Atlanta. Now, I don't know what Atlanta I'm going to get every week, so I kind of put that on hold. But the one team, JB, that I mentioned, and I think you may have heard me mention this a week or two ago, to watch. The last time I said this, they lost that Sunday. Watch the Rams. Understand me. Watch the Rams, because they were only having to rely on the very underrated Kyron Williams the first part of the season.
I like Kyron. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that dude, man. Because Stafford really didn't have anybody to throw to. I mean, let's be honest. Since Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua have come back, they are a problem. You know, they will McVay will let that man step back there and sling it 40 to 50 times as he has. They are a problem, right? Last week they looked good. Both of them got in the end zone. If they can get into the playoffs, that is that one team I think they can play with just about any team. You know, Detroit will be funny, but we thought Detroit was going to do something last year, and they got in the playoffs and disappointed a lot of people. Even I think they're better now. But the Rams, I'm telling you, if the Rams get into the playoffs, they could be a problem for any team on any given week, especially if it's a wild card. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. As long as both Nacua and Kupp are on the field. All right,
yeah, so. They have the talent to do it.
I'm not saying Super Bowl, but
I know what you mean. It's just, again, another team that I'm like, their defense has not really done it for me this year.
Well, their back end hasn't done it. Now their defensive line has been fired.
Oh, trust me, I saw that against Drake May
Jones. So I can't think of the kid that's on the other one side. But then you've got in the middle 2 rookies, and I'm gonna say this proudly, which I did not expect. 2 rookies, both drafted this year. They played alongside each other last year at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Braden Fisk and Jared Verse have been an absolute problem for offensive lines this year. That's the one shining spot has been their defensive line. But I do agree with you. Now, once you get past those 3 along the defensive line, yeah, they've had some issues at linebacker and in that secondary.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's gonna be interesting. But I like to keep an eye out on the Rams and the Packers for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's funny I talked about it. I hope I didn't jinx them again, because I said Source and I were talking about the Rams a couple of weeks ago, and then we talk about them and they lose, right? And hope I don't jinx them today, because the game we're here to pick in a second, they play the Eagles. So for a lot of reasons, I want them to win that game, but not just to make me look good or channel. So it is what it is. All right, but we got 6 games. You guys ready to pick them?
Sure.
All right, let's get into it here. What do we got first up? First up on the schedule is going to be the Bears and the Vikings. They are going at it. A divisional battle is about to go down. Now, the tale of the tape is, when we go back about 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were looking at a big jumble up in that division, the NFC North, where the Bears were right in it with everybody else. It was like one game separating all these teams, and the Bears are falling on hard times here lately. And we had, the shuffle of coaches, coordinators getting fired over there, all the money they, for the time they invested in getting Caleb Williams, and he hasn't looked good. But the offensive line, to be fair, has not looked good either. We were talking about somebody's offensive line earlier. The Bears' offensive line is absolute trash. And this is the wrong defense to be trash against. The Vikings, one of the reasons that the Vikings have been so good this year has not just been because, the emergence or the resurgence or whatever you want to call it of Sam Darnold. That defense has been damn good, bro.
Good.
I mean, really good at this. And so this is the wrong time to be facing this team. I will say the Bears last week put up an incredible effort against the Green Bay Packers. Losing it late, I think the game was like 20-19, in which Caleb Williams played actually pretty darn well in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. I actually felt bad for the way they lost that game, because they were right there for the win before Jordan Love snatched it away from them. So Bears desperately need this. The Vikings just want to keep on their winning ways. Joel, what you think about this game today?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I'm very high on that Minnesota Vikings team. They whooped I asked this the first game of the year. But that was before we knew they were going to be this good. To be fair,
Yeah.
But they definitely converted me not long after that because they were just like you said, that defense is not to be played with, and if your line can't hold, definitely ain't holding against them. So yeah, I'm definitely choosing Minnesota. I don't really have a score in mind, but considering, like you said, Chicago played well last week, but like they're so up and down, really,
Yeah.
and like they have the talent, so they should be able to score on you. But they're so wishy-washy. They're very hard to trust. So definitely going Minnesota, and I'm not sure it'll be that close, but we'll see, I guess.
Juwan, what you think?
I have Minnesota, but I have a close game. I'm not that hard on Caleb Williams only because I remember Josh Allen back in the day is around his rookie and sophomore year, and he was not the Josh Allen we see today. So sometimes it takes the change of a head coach or change of a coordinator. But I do think this will be a close game, but I'm going Minnesota.
Minnesota. All right.
I'm going Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings. It's just, to me, it's one of those, we talk about trap games. I think to me, it has the making of a trap game. To me, saying that, then the Vikings go ahead and beat the brakes off these people. But it's like what people were calling for the trap game on Thursday night. We saw what happened. Steelers, and that was a divisional game, just like this game, right? So the Steelers, there's no way Jameis Winston and we're going to beat them. We know Jameis and his turnovers, and we know that the Steelers are riding high, and we see what happened. Bears have been on hard times lately. Vikings are one of the hottest teams, one of the best teams in the league, and this should be an absolute blowout by the Minnesota Vikings. But if it doesn't turn out that way, I'm not going to be shocked. Let me just say that, right? The Vikings scare me just a little bit because they had that quick stumble. And since the stumble, they still been good. They just haven't been quite as good as they were the earlier part when they were straight dominating teams, right?
Right.
But they have that defense. If you're going to come after a young rookie quarterback, this is the defense. And they're sitting here at 8-2. And the thing that no one is talking about is they're having this extraordinary season without JJ really blowing the brakes off. You know what I'm saying? Blowing the doors off. He balling. Don't get it twisted. He still can give you a game where he doesn't score, but he ends the game with 7 receptions, you know what I'm saying, for 95 yards or something without scoring, but he's affected the game because he's extended the first down. He's got in field goal range. He's extended that first down to get them here so Addison can get the touchdown. So it's crazy, but I am still going to take the Vikings in this one. Maybe blowing the doors off, but I'm not going to pick it that way. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-17 for the Vikings. Let me see here. All right, and let's see. I see some scores in here, but I got to find my score, guys, the official part of the team. Let me see. JB is taking the Vikings 32-17. And the Don Mega himself, my man Don, is taking the Vikings 31-19. So everybody is on the Vikings today. So we'll see if it goes that way. All right. Next up, we got 5 games left. Oh boy, I was in no hurry to get to this one, but we guess we got to get it out of the way. We have the Cowboys and the Commanders, and any other time I would have been, hey, talking mad trash. I'm feeling good about it. This ain't one of them days, bro. This is not one of them days. We've seen just how good this team has been with all these new pieces. Jaden Daniels has been lights out. And I think the thing that I admire, and I hate to say I admire something about Washington, but about Jaden Daniels is at first they were just putting up points on everybody. But then they've had some games where they played they played the Ravens and, they played some other games. Was it the Bears? They played some close games and they've shown you they can win those games too. So very scary matchup if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan. Matter of fact, I look back to earlier when Don was talking about he was going to be playing Black Ops 6 during the game today, right? With his Niners.
Yeah.
My brother himself, AJ, responded to him and said, he says, I'm about to make some mixes. He DJ'd. And I'm not watching that beatdown. They owe us a good beatdown. And they do owe us a good beatdown because we have owned the Washington Redskins and Commanders, whatever you want to call them. What I don't care what you call them. We have, so they do own us. So my man said he's going to be out there making some DJ mixes. He is not watching the massacre that is about to go down. Jawan, what do you think about this game today?
I'll be honest with you. I play you in fantasy this week, and I have Scary Terry. So I don't really care who wins. I just need Scary Terry to have about 8 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, some rushing yards in there. No, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you're Dallas, you gotta hang it up and just aim for the draft at this point. You shouldn't try to win this game. I know you probably will try your hardest. You should. You should. You should very much just sit a couple guys. Let it be known. You give up. I don't know, man. Look, everyone keeps telling me.
So you saying we should try to get in the Shador Cam Ward race?
1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%.
I'm gonna need you to win tonight, so you can stay. So you can stay off my back, bro.
Hey, you say that. Hey, man, I just heard someone say New England might get the 6th spot. That don't give me Travis Hunter. I need that top 3. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Washington only because everyone keeps telling me about how scary this team could be. But every time they come up into a game where I'm like, this is the game they're really gonna like showcase how great they can be, they struggle. So I'm like, again, I'm not saying it like this is a juggernaut team that they're playing, but these are the games you should win. No Dak, go win this game and go win it convincingly. So I'm going to go Washington. For your sake, Prime, so the Cowboys can get Shador from Joel.
No doubt. Hey, what's up, She caught her in the house. Yeah. Hey, yeah, man. Hey, look, man. See, I ain't got to worry about you guys in the quarterback situation, Juwan. So y'all good. Y'all good.
Yeah. See, we can work together. I just need Travis. You can take Shador.
Me and Joel got a little something we got to try to work out. You know what I'm saying? He definitely is going for a position, and I think I need to go for that same position.
You just paid your quarterback. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, if you let people tell it, my quarterback is all that, and if y'all don't want him, you know what I'm saying? We'll take him. Okay, y'all take him then. Pick up your phone when Jerry called. Okay?
That's it.
All right, so, yeah, so, you know, they talked about Prime's, Dion talking about they have a plan and there were certain teams they wouldn't want him to play for, you know.
I wonder.
I don't think he has a problem. I don't think he would have a problem playing in Dallas. With him playing in Dallas, say that. So, but anyway, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. What you think about this one, Joel?
Well, I take my bias out of it, and what I want for me, it's like double bias because it's draft bias and it's team bias. You know? It's a lot of biases. This is a divisional game, and this is my division, so it makes it harder. I didn't realize y'all just won 3 games. I didn't realize how bad it has been. I knew it's been bad. I didn't know it was this bad.
When I messaged you, I told you we all in this together now.
I didn't realize we were that close.
Season.
I was oblivious to the fact that you guys only won 3 games. I'm like, that's it? I was like, what the fuck? We should have beat Washington the first time, man. That was bullshit. We should have been Washington the second time. That's how bad it's been for us. But You know what? Fucking Washington. They're pretty good. They are. I'll give them credit. So I got to see them in person 2 weeks ago. And they were pretty good. They were. I was impressed. And that was without Robinson. And that Robinson that game. He lit us up that first game. But, you know, the Cowboys is being the Cowboys. I mean, you guys, you know, Dak's hurt. Who you call it? Cooper Rush, right?
Cooper Rush.
You still got Dowdle's your running back?
Mm-hmm.
Still?
Yeah, he can get about 30 yards a day. But yeah, go ahead. He'll be our lead rusher with 32 yards. But go ahead.
That's terrible. But all right. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna lead Washington getting the dub. But because it's a divisional game, I'm thinking it's gonna be one of those close games to the point where like you might end up winning this game and saving me the trouble of cheering against you. You know, it's one of those things like, yes, stay away from the bottom. I need you to stay away from the bottom. I didn't realize Washington had 7 wins. I'm like, they can lose a game or two. Fuck them. They're good. You know? Cowboys, you can get enough dub. It's a division. You guys don't want to lose to the Commanders anyway. I'm going to lean Washington for the win, but like I would not be upset if the Cowboys won tonight. Or today.
Indeed. I'm with my guys over there in the chat, man. With Don.
39.
AJ, I gotta find something else to do. Maybe I'll play some college football or something, some NCAA. Fire up the 2K. I don't know, but I'm gonna watch it. I just might not have it on the big TV. It might need to go to an iPad or something. Now, and we happen to still be in the game after halftime. Maybe I move it back to the big TV. So
that's what I do too. I'm like, oh, we're close. I might go back to it then.
But yeah, man, I don't have a good feeling about this. We talked about that offense in Washington, which has been crazy. You add into the mix that our offensive line in Dallas has been complete trash this year, as it is, especially with the 2 rookies. And then your best offensive lineman pops up on the report that he's not playing. So there's no Zach Martin today to add to that.
No, boy, no.
Then there's no Trayvon Diggs. He's not playing today. He's popped up on the same report. So an already depleted, terrible defense just took another hit. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to beat the brakes off of us today. I'm just telling you what it is. It's going to be ugly. Cooper Rush found a way to get in the end zone a couple of times, please, but it ain't going to be enough. So I think the Commanders will beat the Dallas Cowboys today. Give me 40-16. Yeah, and all the former Cowboys that are over there in Washington will be smiling. I mean, you got to think about all the players that went over there from last year's squad. Tyler Biadasz, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, Noah Brown, there's a couple of other guys. A lot of former Cowboys over there, and they're going to be glad to be on that side. This time.
Word.
Damn.
What was it? 40 to what you said?
40-16. 40-16.
Thanks.
Yep. You see my man. Don, I see you, bro. 30-9. 30-9. He being generous. He know he just play. That's because he's my boy. He when he wanted to add about 14 more points to that. But he don't even got us getting in the end zone. I'm trying to at least get
apparently. It was all field goals.
Yeah. Hey, well, we got the kicker to do it. He shockingly missed one last week, but I mean, he's probably the best kicker in the league. But that's one thing we got going good for us. JB 28-20. I see you over there.
So close.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Cooper Rush just has one of those games that everybody was expecting him to have the past couple of weeks, and so I don't know. I don't know. Washington's defense can be had, even though they've been playing better as of late.
They have.
The defense can be had. That's why earlier they were just putting points on people.
They can be had. They definitely can.
We shall see.
I've seen it.
But we were out Ferguson today too at the tight end, so that's just another blow. But hey, it is what it is.
I didn't realize you were so hurt. Jesus.
All right. Yeah, we need nobody, bro. we weren't good when we were healthy. We definitely not good now. So
true. Well, we'll see. Maybe the young guys,
Let's see what we got the next game here. In the next game, we have the 49ers and the Packers set to do battle today. Looks like I believe this game is going to be at Lambeau Field. So very interesting matchup here. Where we found out in this game that there's going to be no Brock Purdy today. It's funny when we were talking about injuries earlier with these quarterbacks. There's no Brock Purdy today. There's no there's no Bosa today either.
We don't care about Bosa.
Just as they were starting to get some of their pieces back over this past couple of weeks, especially the man sitting there up top, with McCaffrey. Two major pieces going out tonight. And you know when the schedule made this game, we were just looking out. They were looking at chops like, man, the Niners. They were looking at these teams being fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not the case, man. Juwan, what you think about this one?
Packers big. Again,
packing them up.
Yeah, exactly. If we're talking about Jordan Love, and the Packers being that possible dark horse team to possibly make some noise, that no one's really seriously talking about, you got to go get those gimme games, and this is as gimme of a game as you can get. So just go out there, flex on them a little bit. Jordan Love should have about 4-5 of them things in the air. I got the Packers big. 32-13. 13 is very generous. I'm going to say 31-28. John, is Brady playing?
He an Atlanta, so he's an Atlanta fan. Let me know.
Oh, that's hope and prayer. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna take that 2 off.
Hope and prayer.
I'm gonna go 31-8. That sounds a little bit more accurate.
Well, he got a little faith. He got some faith that McCaffrey gonna be able to do some things. And
I can tell you what, unless some things is throwing the football, no.
Who's the backup?
I'm not going.
Who's the backup? In San Francisco.
Is it Trey Lance? No.
Oh, no, Trey Lance is in Dallas, bro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Who's their backup?
Well, why is he not?
It's hey guys, what's the backup? Who's starting for y'all today? I stopped right when they say Purdy wasn't playing. Okay. This might change. This might be the way change the way I think a little
Brandon
bit.
Allen. Who the fuck is? Or Josh Dobbs or Brandon Allen? One of the two.
Bucky Brooks. Oh, y'all got a Marvel character playing? Oh yeah, Packers big. I got Bucky Barnes out here. Yeah, no, Packers big. Packers big. McCaffrey might have 2 touchdowns, maybe.
Ooh, I can see it.
Maybe, but you said 28. So who's getting those others?
Well, man, he might be banking. They might be banking on the fact that Love gonna give him one. Like I told you, what was crazy about Jordan Love, as spectacular as we've seen him play. You go back. What did he miss this year? Was it 2 games or 3? Whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Going into last week, he led the league in interceptions.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I think he might have been at the time. He might have been the only quarterback that had double digits, and maybe it was.
He's fearless.
So maybe they're banking on the fact that he's gonna give us one. He's gonna give us 1 or 2 in scoring position. And JB, you said Debo gonna play quarterback.
Oh no! Are you saying Debo's gonna get those other touchdowns?
Oh, okay.
You're being real generous against this Packers defense. Very generous. Even with Brock Purdy, you were being generous with against this Packers defense. But okay, all right. Look,
but he said he didn't say. He said secondary
pick six.
He said, "Yes." I mean, like I say, watch Jordan Love in the interception. We were sitting. I was with these guys last week here at a group meetup that we had here in VA, and I was sitting there I was telling Source too, and I said the one thing about this game, they were playing Chicago, of course, and we mentioned Chicago has a good defense. Chicago has a defense that's kept them in a lot of games this year. But I was sitting there watching Jordan Love, and before the thing started, I said Love's gonna throw 2 picks today.
Oh boy!
Somebody tap up. There goes one. Not killing people. Yeah, so he'll give you one. He's gonna gamble. So maybe that pick 6 is in the mix, or pick 6 inside the, on the wrong side of the field.
Keeping up with the Packer tradition,
Yeah, no. I'm still not giving you that, John. I'm sorry. I still refuse to believe.
Dang, y'all might be out Trent Williams too. Oh my goodness.
Mm-mm.
That ain't good, bro.
Not at all.
What do you think, Joel?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I can't even tell you who the quarterback is.
My man said, "Oh yeah, no."
I didn't realize it was that bad. Yeah, Packers all day. Yeah, I was not expecting it to be. If Purdy was healthy, I would definitely, or even Bosa. Well, maybe I would change my mind, but as of right now, it's definitely even with one pick, even if you're going to give him a head start, I think the Packers are going to take it.
Head start is wild. My man John, I so respect you riding for your team. I respect that, man. But unless Shanahan can drop back 4 steps and throw that football, I don't know how much. I mean, it would have to be a hell of a chess game Shanahan plays against LaFleur. And if he can pull this out against a healthy Packers, by all means, put him in Coach of the Year conversation because this team is starting to look depleted this week. So
it's bad.
If y'all can go out and get this dub, it says more about you. No, it says more about the Packers than it does you.
Yeah.
So
they were playing hard this week.
We agree, John.
Close.
If Purdy was healthy, we would have given it a more respectable score than we're giving for sure because we trust Purdy. But you telling me Bucky Barnes and Captain America we're quarterbacking? I don't trust that. No, I'm good. I'm going Packers.
What did it say there?
Bucky Barnes, bro. Come on.
Who's Bucky? I didn't even know he was on the roster.
Man, when a soldier taking snaps in the shot.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't trust that. Yeah.
RPO.
You gotta know.
If they did run it, he had a hell of a stiff arm, though, right?
That is for sure. Yeah, that is for sure.
He probably could throw with a robot arm, right?
Yeah, for sure. He can at least throw it like 60, 70 yards for sure.
He said if Purdy was healthy, he'd take the Packers. I mean, the 49ers 35-32.
We're with you. Yeah, we're with you. We wouldn't argue that, but you don't. So that's where we got off. There's no Purdy. So
I've never even heard of this man, Bucky Brooks. So yeah, it's tough.
Let's see what we got next, guys. We got next up. Jawan. Talk about your Patriots and the Dolphins.
I'm out. I'm out.
You out, bro?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Drake May's gonna look. He's gonna look heaven sent, and his team's gonna always find a way to let him down. That's really just a recipe every week since Drake May came in. So I have nothing. My heart's been taken out of it. I have nothing. I've been depleted. I got nothing.
So y'all gonna win?
No. If we do, I'll pop champagne. Joel, when we see each other later, I'll pop champagne. If Drake May can pull this out with that god awful offense and defense, oh man! But no, look, I'll say this, Prime. A lot of people didn't catch. All right, John, that's a personal attack, dog. That's a real personal attack. Dolphins ain't even get past 21 this year, and you got 42.
42-18.
Look, I only said that, John, because your quarterback ain't healthy. You ain't got to do. You know what, Prime? I'm good. I ain't picking this game. I'm good. I'm good, man. That's really
those of y'all can't see. JB got the Dolphins winning this 42-18. He said this young gonna be ugly.
I was trying to say Prime before John just had to destroy me like that. Christian Gonzalez came into the game doubtful, but he's going to play, but he had a limp coming off the bus. So I don't know if Tyreek Hill can expose that on him. It's something to look out for. So I just wanted to throw that out there. All right. What do y'all do? All right. You know what? I thought this was a welcoming space. I'm good off coming back to this show, man. Y'all get real disrespectful here, man.
Nigga, 46-7.
I don't know about all that.
Call the cops. That's crazy. Whew.
I'm gonna remember this. Hold on. John seems the 49ers, right?
Yeah, both of them are 49er fans.
Oh, both of y'all 49ers fans. All right, bet. I'm gonna make a call to Jordan Love. Drop 50 on y'all today. It's all right. It's all right. Keep that up. It's all right. It's okay. All right. Bet. No problem. Y'all better win. I tell y'all that. Y'all better win. 46-7.
Man,
not one team has dropped more than I think 28. I think on New England all this year, and y'all giving them 40. Have the Dolphins even gone past 20 this year? Hold on, because I'm feeling the disrespect. Hold on.
Definitely been a rough year for them offensively. That would be. I feel if you got Tyreek Hill on your fantasy team, I feel bad for you.
I have him on my fantasy team, and I'm playing you.
Dang. Well, look, I really hope, I really hope they don't drop them points now. I don't need you. Yeah, while you looking it up, did you realize it's crazy that Diggs is not here, but in our league, we are all in line. I think it's with 3, 4, 5, and 6 or something like that, or 4, 5, 6, and 7 as far as the standings. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I think it's 3. I think we're 3, 4, 5, and 6, I believe.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! Oh my God!
Do you see a 40-point game on that?
Not by the Dolphins, but someone has dropped 41 on us this year.
Who was that?
Don said, any given Sunday, there's a message. Don said, any given Sunday, bro.
We lost to the Texans 41-21. Oh God! Oh Lord!
Fair.
Oh my God! Well, 2-8, no CJ Stroud. I ain't worried. Damn, 41 points. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they run the ball a lot.
But like I said, Christian Gonzalez being a little limping worries me because
definitely concerned.
Yeah, if Tyreek Hill can get that first step on him at the line of scrimmage, Tyreek Hill could go off today. Which again, I'm okay with. If Tyreek Hill can give me a couple touchdowns against Prime today, I'm good with that. And New England catches the L, I'm good.
If anybody gonna score, I don't need you doing that to me. If anybody gonna score for the Dolphins, let it be A-Chain.
Nah, not only do I need Tyreek Hill to get receiving touchdowns, I need rushing touchdowns and I need passing touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, do it all, dog. You got that dog in you. Do it all today. We need you. And I need New England to lose. So I'm fine with them losing. Just not 42 to 46 to 7. That's just crazy. That's like Madden with the sliders up kind of numbers. Right there. That's crazy, man.
Joel, so what were you thinking about this one?
Remember our friendship, Joel. Pick them to lose.
My thing was, even if I did have them losing, I didn't have it that big. I don't think they're that much better. If they are, I want to see what's the injury report look like.
New England doesn't really have any big injuries. They just have a lot of guys that they just choose not to play. And I don't think the Dolphins have any
major
huge injuries. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I'll probably give the edge to the Dolphins, but I don't think it's going to be by that much. I think that the New England could probably pull it out if they don't turn the ball over and they hold down, that Tyreek Hill and even I've just been so disappointed. I think a lot of my disappointment in Dolphins comes from the fact that Waddle's been so blah. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Tua's been hurt and the Dolphins just have not been what it was. I definitely don't expect them to go to 40. I think if it is a win, it'll be close, maybe within a touchdown, I think, in my opinion.
But you have Patriots losing.
I do, yeah.
I appreciate your friendship.
A 50 burger. Great.
You want that picture one.
I sure do, and I appreciate you. That's what I'm saying. At Prime at this point, I'm ignoring John. John's just trying to be hurt. Okay.
50.
It's okay. Sorry. I just know we ain't got no Bucky Barnes throwing the football today. We got Drake Heaven sent May,
I like Drake May too. I like that kid. He's a lot of promise.
Mm-hmm.
He's
a lot of upside.
Yes, sir.
And it's just playing. And you guys are just playing, just duke it out, because it's crazy. We mentioned earlier the Bills and running away with it. The Bills are like the division already. They sitting there with 9-2. And the Dolphins. The Dolphins. The Dolphins. Next closest team at 4-6.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that serious.
Bills had that division in the offseason, so it's nothing new. It's to be expected.
Crazy. I'm gonna take the pass today.
No. Prime. I gave you a Cowboys loss so you can get your pick. Why would you do that?
It's obvious that we're going to lose. I'm not 100% sure that y'all going to lose this game.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to get the Cowboys are going to get blasted today, bro. Everybody knows they're going to get blasted today.
Yeah, but give my team the loss. I'm telling you,
95% of America are going to be dancing out in the streets. They just going to be doing everything today. You're going to see more memes than we didn't see in a while. We know that's going to happen. I'm not convinced that the Dolphins going to beat y'all, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to take the Pats 24-22. Because if there's one thing, the one thing I've noticed about the Dolphins defense is that you can run a little bit on them. Give that man, Ramondre, give him the rock.
Well, tell him stop fumbling.
We'll
give him the rock.
Don't make they have to win it all by himself. You run the ball because the Dolphins are going to try. I know we're talking about Tyreek Hill and all this, and I hope you guys can cover tight ends because John Smith been lethal lately.
No,
but
we can't.
Yeah, but you can run the football on them. So, yeah, I'm gonna say the Patriots gonna win today. We got to have that game or two every week that somebody's not supposed to win, they win it. So
that's
I'm
fair.
taking the Patriots on this one. So
that's
24-22.
You better not be right, bro. I need this.
Well, look, us. Well, maybe with other teams, I guess us winning ain't going to affect y'all drafts prospects because you could, but not the player that you want.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, you say that unless the Giants get him, and then y'all just go, well, we got a quarterback. Maybe we just get Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Only look because we don't really
still be a threat.
We've got two decent corners now, unless Jerry ain't that smart. But so I was going to say, unless he wanted to draft Travis Hunter anyway, and then you can use him as the other receiver that we need, and then you can still play him in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
Or put what's his name back in the slot, then that's a different story. But I don't think that's going to be the move, though.
And remember this, it might not even come down to Jerry. If what the rumors are true are saying, and y'all go get Bill Belichick, Travis Hunter is the exact player Bill Belichick loves. You play all position, perfect. Taking you. You know what I'm saying?
We do have to remember that Jerry likes the spotlight. You know, I'm old enough to remember when he signed Dion. It was like the biggest thing in the world. He had to make sure every outlet had it. It broadcasted on TV. Doing commercials with Dion. So I don't know. Maybe Jerry would pick Travis Hunter.
So you're a threat to me.
You know how we do. We just got to be the talk of the media. We ain't got to win games.
That's true.
Yeah, we know what that is. So.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's crazy.
That's fair.
We got two games left, guys. So the last two games, we jumped down to Sunday Night Football. Two teams that we briefly mentioned earlier. One of them I talked about being a sneaky under the radar team. So it'll be the Eagles and the Rams going at, which should be a pretty good game. By all accounts, from what I know, these teams are mostly healthy, even though we did find out that Devontae Smith is not playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. But, they still got Saquon. They still got Brown. They still got Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
And the thing about the Eagles, we sometimes talked about them in their secondary. They've been playing pretty good. They've actually been playing pretty good over the last few weeks. So it's a tough haul for Stafford, Nakua, and Kupp. But Joel, what you think, man?
I'm going full bias here. I'm going all Rams all day. It's going to be a blowout, and I don't care how they do it. I just need it to happen.
I like it.
The Eagles need to be humbled, and hopefully today is the day. So there you go.
Was the Super Bowl not enough? That wasn't enough of humbling?
No, it's never enough. I only got rivals in line.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Big blowout. Okay.
Yeah. I need to be very one-sided.
I'd love to see it. I would love to see it for a lot of reasons.
Poking the coolest show today.
Do it. Juwan, what you think?
I'm going with Joel. I remember last time I was on this show, Source wasn't that nice to my team. So I'm going to have the Ravens and Akuna Matata blowing out the – oh, wait. No. I have Jalen Hurts. Oh, no. Take that back. I'm playing Prime this week. I need this win. Jalen Hurts is my starting quarterback. Never mind. Eagles big. Eagles 47 to 28.
47.
Yeah.
47.
No, 47. I'm going 47. Listen, I'm saying 47. Jalen Hurts, I'm gonna need you to have about 4-5 them things. I'm gonna need Jalen Hurts to keep robbing Saquon from goal line touchdowns. That man loves doing that, and it's
Oh,
done me wonders. So I need him to keep doing that. But no, all jokes aside, they've really been struggling, man. They've been lucking up in some of these wins. I know this because I have Jalen Hurts as my starting quarterback, and he's just been edging in these victories that they've been getting. So I'm with you. I think the Rams definitely could come in here and definitely take this win. So all jokes aside, I can see that's very close. On that coach. Yeah, I got the Rams. I got the Rams winning.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams as well. 28-24. I do believe that the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball though. Between Hurts and Saquon, that's definitely going to go down.
That's not going to be a thing.
And then the one thing about it is the Eagles, the secondary playing a lot better. They've been holding a lot of teams under like 6 yards for reception.
Right? That Eagles defense starting to show up too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But if you look at McVay's offense, they're not always looking to go deep. They throw the ball short a lot or intermediate.
And they take it.
Then take the shot later.
Yeah.
And we know how good Cooper Kupp is, especially run after the catch. So I don't care, dog. I'll catch it 4 yards up the field, and I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna get around that corner, and I think that's what's going to be the deciding factor. You know, they'll open it up, do a few things there, and then maybe Kyron Williams actually, he gets going just because they're going to have to respect that passing game a little bit. But I'm going to roll with Stafford, man. I'm going to roll with Stafford. 28-24.
Okay.
Let's see. Don, 32-20 Rams. JB, 28-27 for the Eagles. So we got a split there. So ought to be a good game. I hope it's a game that lives up to the hype that I'm giving it. But I think it could be a really good one, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
All right, and we're down now, guys, to the last game that we have on the docket today. It will be the Monday Night Football game, which will be Lamar taking on those Chargers that we were talking about earlier in the show. Ought to be a really good one. Ravens looking to bounce back, after the shock that they had here recently. And the Chargers themselves, Harbaugh's got the boys playing some football. If anybody said they had them at the record they have now, you lying. You lying. These guys are playing the way they play. Herbert and these guys are playing some good football, playing really good defense. And one thing we didn't mention earlier, they've turned, J.K. Dobbins into a real running back. When we can't talk about the running backs this year, I know we quick to talk about Saquon and we quick to talk about, what King Henry has done. You can't not talk about the season that J.K. Dobbins has had, all things considered. He's come up big for them in a lot of spots. So that's one of the reasons for their success as well. Juwan, what do you think about this game going down on Monday night?
I've been watching the Ravens the last couple of weeks. And I'm seeing if you frustrate Lamar pretty early, it kind of throws them off. These last couple of games have been ending very frustratingly for Lamar. So I think if there's any team that can play stack the box and then just play man, it's probably the Chargers.
Right.
So if I'm the Chargers, that's what I'm doing a lot. I'm stacking the box, right? You're not breaking out, nor Henry, and I'm gonna just play man, and I'm gonna keep my high safety. So I'm gonna take the Chargers actually, and I like that score that John has there, 35-28. I like that. I like that a lot because Chargers can score points. I just don't know how much I necessarily want Herbert slinging it that much. Now, if you're converting them, by all means, you keep throwing that thing. But I kind of feel like if you're the Chargers, just keep Lamar on the sideline, right? Like that's your smartest game plan. So if you can run it and minimize time of play, I think that's a smarter route to go. So I mean I like that score though, but I'm going Chargers for sure.
Chargers for sure.
For sure. I have no bias. This is like one of the first games. I have no clear bias. I can care less who actually wins.
Right.
I do have I have Derrick Henry and I have J.K. Dobbins on my
Okay.
fantasy team. Now I got a question before I pick a winner.
Gotcha.
I have Justin Herbert and I have Geno Smith. Who should I start at quarterback?
Mm.
Because I have both of them, and I'm not sure. Should I worry more
Gino
about?
taking on Arizona.
That's what I mean. So, am I worrying about the Arizona defense or the Charger defense today?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, I'm a believer in.
The Raven defense.
I start my studs regardless, and we might not be talking about true studs here, but
So I mean,
I could definitely see Geno having some success, even though Buda Baker balling back on that back end with them. But I'm probably taking Herbert only because what I've seen from that Ravens secondary, and me personally, I have also seen. I can see the scenarios here in this game. I can see that Lamar and them find a way to exploit that stout defense. Because it happens every year, guys. We will see teams go play these top-notch defenses, and it'll be that one week somebody finds a way to put 30 on, right? Which means that Herbert's gonna have to throw the ball. And what better secondary to throw the ball against than the Baltimore Ravens, right? But to stay in the game, or have to to either come back.
Okay.
So that's just me. And that's
this is important information because for me, to me, it's not a big drop off between the two of them, but that's why it really depends. Like I don't know enough about the defense. Like
I don't think it's a big enough gap in this one, but I do know if they continue to give Walker the ball. I mean, Geno gonna make plays. There's gonna be one there for Metcalf. There's gonna be one there, for one of the other guys. So. I don't. I probably, me personally, I would roll with Herbert.
Okay, fair enough. And then, but that's it being said, I think I will. Fuck, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Chargers have been better than I think a lot. Like you said, a lot better than we were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And Baltimore, I mean, they're around the same record. So it's like they're too evenly matched. It's scary. Who won last week? I want to see who has home. Who's home? I'm not really sure.
Home team. The Chargers are home.
They're at home. Okay, I'll give them the advantage because they own home field advantage. I think the Ravens they fall short, and I think the Chargers they continue this crazy run they're on.
Yeah,
so, I think it'll be a close game though. It'll be probably a field goal type of game.
I was looking at my man JB says he kind of feels the way I feel. He said he started Herbert too. Cardinals secondary is way better than the Ravens. That is fact.
Okay.
That part is fact.
That's fair.
Buda Baker and those guys been balling on that back, and it's one of the reasons for their recent turnaround. Not to start now slow, so you never know what's going to happen in the game, but that's just the way I would lean as well.
Because even in the fantasy thing, there's not a big drop off between the two of them this week. Like the point, projected, it's like point something. It's not even that different. It's like so I don't know really where to go with it. It's hard.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted now. It's just I'm not telling you, that Geno's not going to go out and throw a couple of scores because
right. I think they gave Geno slightly better, but like 0.14 better. That's what
yeah. So, and that's a game right there. We didn't pick that game, but I would love. That's a game Source and I talk about. It's one of those games I would love for that game to be some points on the board. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's one of those that Arizona and Seattle game is one of those games that we would probably be picking. Could be 31-28. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can see both of them being able to score on each other. But yeah, I would ride with Herbert.
Got it. I will do so.
No doubt. Don got the Ravens 31-27. And JB says the Chargers 35-28, looking for some real points on Monday Night Football. And I ain't mad at that whatsoever. Believe me, I'm not mad at it at all. So ought to be a great Sunday in football. Some games. We got some good games that we didn't even pick. But it ought to be a really, really good one. So we shall see what happens.
Sure.
Joel, anything you want to put out there for the people watching? Anything you want to shout out? Anything you got going on?
Not same old. Like me and Juwan do our podcast on Wednesdays. So we got our Unhealthy Unstable podcast.
Let them know.
Every Wednesday. That's probably the only thing I got going right now. It's very chill kind of week for me. I do want to go back to doing that basketball podcast that I was supposed to have you on.
Yeah,
and we'll probably do a all-star break type of show or something. So
cool.
I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know when we get to that. So the NBA is still at the top of my mind. It's my favorite sport. So
basketball is my favorite.
Basketball is my favorite sport. So it's my love, my first love.
Indeed. So, Juwan, what do you got? Anything you want to put out there?
No, Joel pretty much nailed it. We'll be seeing Gladiator 2 today. So
nice.
We won't have a show this week because of the holiday. So coming back the week after, we'll probably break down our thoughts on that movie and any other news.
Indeed. Let me ask you guys this before we get out of here. What I want to ask you: are you guys? You mentioned the movie, and I can't wait to hear you guys' review on that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. What is your? I know it's not excitement, but 1 to 10. What is your? Well, I can say level of excitement, and that's what we're going to talk about. Do you have for this Craven movie?
2. 2, because it has a Marvel banner. that's where my interest is.
I'll say a 5, only because I enjoyed the trailer. I like the trailer.
Me too.
The trailer was good, and I like the character. I don't know if I needed a whole movie about him, but I do like the character a lot. So I'll give it a chance. And I saw something recently that made me a little more intrigued at what they're trying to do. I showed Juwan the other day. Literally, we were talking about it the other day.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah. So I'm a little more excited about it, but I don't see it going anywhere. So I'm not that excited, but I'm excited enough to go see the movie. Whereas I didn't see that Joker 2, not yet. I probably will eventually. I just haven't.
Yeah, I was in no hurry to go see that. I'll wait till that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll say I was just curious because I hadn't asked you guys about it, and I too enjoyed the trailer of it, and I always thought way before we even got to this point that Craven, if they did it right, would be great. Could be great,
right?
But. And I'm not totally against, the way they're going about it now, from what I can tell. But the trailer was good, and I had made up my mind that I was not probably going to back to the movies at all until probably Captain America.
Ooh!
Right? Oh wow!
Yeah,
you're not gonna see Nosferatu?
Nah, I want to see it, but I'm gonna wait.
Wow!
It's just I don't know what it is. I haven't been. I'm a movie guy.
I know.
haven't just been excited about going to the movies lately. Like, I knew when we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine that probably was going to be it for me for a while.
Wow.
Even though I wanted to. Now, Gladiator's different. I kind of want to see that. So
I was going to say, that doesn't hype you a little bit. I'm so excited to go watch that later.
But beyond that, I was like, I'm really interested to see what's going to go on with Craven. But do I want to go ahead and go to the movies to see it, or do I want to wait? Right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but I love the character. I mean, I love the character. I mean, even back when I was young.
I'll definitely say Craven's probably like Venom for me. I don't think I could have enjoyed Venom not seeing it in theaters. I think Craven will be the same way. It's why I'm gonna see it in theaters.
Yep.
Yeah. So like it's not high on my excitement meter, but I kind of feel like if I watch it at home, it strips it a little bit. So I'm gonna give it the courtesy of seeing it in theaters. But no, you missed out on a couple movies. Smile 2 was really good.
I was waiting for that.
Alien was really good. Like there was a couple bangers.
Transformers 1.
Transformers 1, yeah.
Transformers 1. Yep. I missed out on that.
There's a couple bangers. Yeah, there's a couple bangers.
What's Smile 1 or Smile 2? Would you like better?
Smile 2 because you were able to up everything. You were able to up the budget, the actors, everything was able to be upped. But Smile 1 will always be scarier than Smile 2.
I felt
that movie almost put me in therapy. Smile.
I like Smile 1 a little bit more, but Smile 2 is good. No, don't get me wrong. I just thought Smile 1 was just it felt less Hollywoody. You know?
Yes.
I feel it because even though I always form my own opinion, I'll be honest with you. I probably asked about 4 or 5 other people. One of the guys works for me actually, and I haven't heard a bad review about Smile 2 yet.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm gonna see it regardless. I'm gonna watch it, regardless. But I haven't heard one yet. So you guys definitely validated it. Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. So,
it's definitely pretty good, but I think Joel hit it on the head. It got Hollywood for sure, but it doesn't take away from it.
No.
But I think what made the first one so good is I didn't know really any of the actors in it.
Right, barely anybody.
I thought the concept was just weird, so like my expectations weren't high. Like I went in watching that movie very much just like it's one of those stupid movies, whatever. And then I left it going, oh, this is really good. So then, unfortunately, it built expectation for the second one.
Right.
So now, once you do that, it's kind of just like you'll never be as good as the first one, where I had no thoughts about it whatsoever.
I think that's what helped. Is that the second trailer? I didn't love the second Smile trailer as much as I liked the actual movie. I don't think the trailer did it justice, in my opinion.
That's fair.
I thought the movie was actually better than what the trailer showed. So I'm like, all right, yeah, in my opinion. So I was like. But to me, it's still I love almost the indie feel of the first movie more so than the second one. Even though the second one, again, very well done.
It's a great successor to the first one, but I could see how someone looks at the first one and goes, oh, "This is better. This is definitely better. This is definitely
nice. Appreciate the input, guys. Appreciate you joining us. We'll do it again for sure for the season's over. I'm guys want to come through. You guys are always welcome. But other than that, you guys know us. It's the SBP. You can find us in the Facebook group, the SBP. Also find us over on YouTube under SBP TV. Come through. Y'all know we get down. Sports is our main thing, but hip hop, television, and movies are always on the table. We appreciate everybody that checked us out, and definitely the guys that are here every week. We appreciate y'all as well because we know there's other things you could be doing. All right. But until next time, I'm up out of here. We appreciate y'all. Thank you again, guys. We out.
Peace.